injured here, 1v1 Green Tooth Gorge blue side. It's Toilailee who went random and got a Lictor Alpha melee specialist that can infiltrate and disrupt. Great offense. Up against is Dark Riku playing an Apothecary support commander, fights melee by default, has a target heal and a passive health regeneration aura. Dark Riku of course doesn't know what he's up against since Toilailee went random, but he can go Tactical Marines into Scouts and pretty much be ready for anything. Here they are, the Tactical Marines, heavy ranged infantry, very durable and versatile. Toilailee with double termagants, light ranged infantry, with the Hormagaunts that he starts with of course. What are we going to see then? I'm always a fan of double Raveners versus Space Marines, though it does leave you without basic Synapse until tier 2 perhaps, since double Raveners and Warriors is a very heavy tier 1 even by Tyranid standards. And Toilailee going after the Apothecary here. Not what I was expecting. I was expecting him to wait for the Tactical Marines to go off and cap and then corner them, try and get a model. Needs to be careful here. Does get away though. Has kept Dark Riku from capping at least. Here's the second Scout Squad. Light ranged infantry, great utility, can get grenades, infiltrate and a couple of weapon upgrades. Center is uncapped. We have termagants in a shooting match with Scouts. Scouts will not win that. Already lost a model here. Using that little pillar for cover, but they do retreat in the end. Could have taken the building perhaps. Apothecary now capping duty. Will we see him go and try and use Purification Vials versus the Tyranids? We will see. Lictor Alpha healing up. Interested to see what kind of build he goes for in terms of war gear for this guy. He does have some great war gear. Feeder Tendrils would be the obvious choice, being a power weapon in tier 1 and helps with his survivability. He has a Warrior Brood on the field. They will grant a basic Synapse to the non-Synapse Tyranid creatures, namely the Hormagaunts and Termagants in tier 1. Start off as a melee unit, heavy infantry, leap into melee combat, so some good disruption, but they aren't the most killy things ever. They aren't going to take out a bunch of models. It's a single cap for Toilailee. Flesh hooks on the Apothecary. Dark Riku needs to be patient, wait until he gets up, heal, and then retreat, and there we go. If he retreated while he was on the floor, he wouldn't have been able to heal and would have taken extra melee damage while he was lying down. So important to get that right, to get his Apothecary away there. And now some Assault Marines for Dark Riku. Toilailee's going to have his hands full. I don't think we're going to see Barb Strangler Warriors then. He's to keep the Assault Marines crippled with Termagants, try and keep his Termagants split up. Hormagaunts, he might want to get Adrenal Glands for these guys, since with Adrenal Glands these guys can put pressure on Assault Marines with some support. Taking models off these Tactical Marines. Toilailee doesn't want to bleed models, so backs off. Lictor Alpha now going after these Tactical Marines. No war gear yet, no war gear either for the Apothecary. And here are those Assault Marines. Lictor Alpha now infiltrated. No sign of a sergeant yet for the Scouts to detect that Lictor Alpha while he's infiltrated. Double Termagants here. Very hard for them to deal with Assault Marines and Tactical Marines and Scouts though. With Apothecary support, he's right there. And there's the jump on the Termagants, both of them with their Toxin Sacks, damage buff, health buff, and Crippling Poison. And there you see Crippling Poison. Lictor Alpha now in amongst Tactical Marines, but cannot get a model. You see the passive health regeneration, or those green hexagons given to them by the Apothecary just by his mere presence. Kraken bolts going off on these warriors since they are heavy infantry. And Assault Marines chasing those Termagants all the way back to base, but Toilailee keeping them in play. And there's the disruptive melee of the warriors knocking down the Assault Marines. Apothecary's there, but I don't think his heal is off cooldown. And he waited a very long time to jump those Assault Marines out. Very lucky not to lose two models. Did take down a Warrior Brood member though. Hormagaunts just about getting away as well. Very good pressure from Dark Riku. Can he get a Flamer up and hit this power as well? Apothecary amongst it. He might want to get himself the Sanguine Chainsword. He's been quite aggressive with this guy, and we have Raveners on the field for Toilailee. There's the Disruptive Burrow Strike. These guys starting off with power melee, so they are bad news for these Tactical Marines. But already forced off. You see how careful you need to be with Raveners. Very much a glass cannon, especially at level 1. Can get a ranged weapon, of course, but I'd keep them melee for now. No sign of adrenal glands for the Hormagaunts, but we do have the feeder tendrils up for the Lictor Alpha. I think it's a 2% heal per hit, 2% of his maximum health, that is. I don't think it matters what you hit. 421, 480. Excellent pressure from Dark Riku, allowing him to cap up the entirety of the west side, but now Toilailee coming over and working on that. There's a node here. Raveners in melee with it alongside warriors. Might see melee Synapse Raveners in. No, we won't, because they have their Devourer already. They will benefit from ranged Synapse though if they have their ranged weapons. These scouts have their Sergeant, gives them a Fragmentation Grenade, allows them to detect, pretty much negates the Lictor Alpha's infiltration when they're around. I do think infiltration could be reworked slightly. It's a bit too easy to get a detector on the field and completely negate the advantages of the Commander Knob and the Lictor Alpha. You of course can just try and avoid the detector unit, but it's not very easy. I don't think their sight range of the detector should be so large. 383, 480, 2-to-1 cap for Dark Riku, and he goes tier 2 first. But look at this, Toilailee hitting power, which Dark Riku never really did he? He didn't get a flamer on his Tactical Marines, but he's coming over to defend. Assault Marines can jump. Should be focusing on the Raveners here, because they will be expensive to reinforce, but he's going after the warriors, trying to get some Synapse bombs to go off. And one has gone off. Heal on the Assault Marines. There's such power the Apothecary displays, keeping his units in the fight. A jump after a crippling poison. They will stay crippled when they land, but now they are not. Raveners kept in play by Toilailee. Nicely done. Can he get a model? He cannot get a model. And you see there the huge power that the Apothecary brings. Quite a lengthy engagement against 4 Tyranid units, and didn't lose a model because of that Apothecary heal and of course his healing aura. If the Lictor Alpha was there, would have been a lot different. 302, 480. And Toilailee hitting tier 2 now. What is Dark Riku going to go for? The obvious choice would be a Librarian. Toilailee, we might see some Gene Stealers. And melee Synapse is on the way with these Adrenal Glands. Really would have liked to see Raveners kept in their melee form. Would have got a very nice 75% health increase and that melee skill increase. But he has gone for the ranged weapons. There's the Burrow Strike. Scouts get away. Fine. 268, 480. Huge VP lead for Dark Riku right now. Assault Marines chasing off the Lictor Alpha. He did decap this wreck point. And it's going to be a 2-to-1 for Toilailee. He's going after power again. This little ranged force. He has double Termagants and ranged Raveners with their Devourers. Now going to try and get a model off these Tactical Marines. There's Crippling Poison. But here come Assault Marines. Toilailee spotting that very quickly, and as usual Dark Riku going for a Sergeant for these guys as soon as possible. Makes them so much better, adds even more to their durability, and makes them much better in melee with Merciless Strike and stuff. Anointed Power Axe for the Apothecary. Purification Rites. And a Sergeant for the Tactical Marines. He is building himself to go after Tyranids pretty much. That Anointed Power Axe will be nasty against the Warrior Brood. Can also drain energy from the Raveners. Lictor Alpha still with the feeder tendrils, still level 1. Apothecary is a little bit of the way into level 2. And we have a Zone Throat from Toilailee. Would have liked to have seen him go for some Tyrant Guard, since this is quite a small map. And Zone Throats could be jumped. but he has the element of surprise. Dark Riku now knows there's a zone throw. Assault Marines take 2 big hits, down to half health, now crippled. Here come Adrenal Gland Warriors, and this is nasty, but there's the heal from the Apothecary, knocking down the Warriors with Purification Rites. And he's keeping his Assault Marines in play. Nope, does retreat them. Can he get a model off these guys? He cannot get a model off them. Here comes that Apothecary, Plasma Pistol, and Power Axe, which drains energy, of course, and gives it to the Apothecary. So it acts as a good offensive weapon and some energy management for him. Here comes the Lictor Alpha, has been missing in all of the big engagements so far, which is often what he does, of course, just sneaks around going after lone units. Now in amongst the Tactical Marines with those feeder tendrils, there's a heal from the Apothecary. Can he get a Marine off these guys? There's the retreat from Dark Riku, and I don't think he will. 222, 461. I don't think he has killed a Marine yet. He has killed a couple of scouts. These guys backing off, and a Librarian is on the way for Dark Riku. Spent a lot of power kitting out his stuff. Fully kitted out. Apothecary now has Army of Purity. Tactical Marine Sergeant. Are we going to see some Stern Guard for Hellfire rounds? And the Assault Marine Sergeant. No need to get Thunder and Lightning, since you're not going to see a vehicle in Tier 2 from Tyranids. And a Librarian is on the way to support them with Veil of Time. That's going to be very difficult for Toilailee to deal with this. Really should have gone for some Tyrant Guard. I really think they're very good in Elite. Zone Throat getting a shot. And there's the heal. Here come Adrenal Gland Warriors with their melee heavy damage and their very respectable 1575 hit points at level 1. Huge amounts of damage to the Assault Marines, and they do lose a model but jump out. Are we going to see a grenade here from the scout? Surely. Lictor Alpha isn't amongst them. Apothecary going after the zone throw. Bang! Huge power axe hit, and almost taken down in retreat there. Now going after the Tactical Marines and gets one down as well. Librarian is here. Haven't seen the smite yet. Lictor Alpha hits level 2, taking that Marine down. 212, 389. See how much more durable feeder tendrils make the Lictor Alpha, but he's going to go down here if he's not careful. In fact, he is. Bang. Down he goes from the Apothecary, and we get a sync kill. Look at that. Plasma Pistol to the skull. Toilailee having trouble retreating there. Cormagaunt Brood really could have helped him in that engagement. I do think they are a decent little unit under melee synapse with their adrenal glands. 212, 352. Gene Stealers on the field, and these guys are a terrifying melee unit. They will have 90 melee skill under melee synapse, which I think is the highest in the game. Really makes them fearsome in combat. Very good power melee damage, and adrenal rush, of course, which buffs that damage and heals them with each hit. 212, 348 will cause a lot of problems for Assault Marines that jump in. Scouts taken east. 1-to-1 cap. And these Gene Stealers could be a game changer right now. Toilailee going after power. Takes down one generator. He's blobbing up a bit here, but here comes Dark Riku to defend. Librarian has the Tome of Time. Support sub-commander for Space Marines. Starts off with a decent artillery spell called Smite. Has some great support as well. Here come Termagants. What are they up to? Toilailee just noticing in time. Cripples the Assault Marines to annoy them, and is going after power again. Should have tried to decap that node, I think. 207, 348. Assault Marines jumping in, and the Gene Stealers are going straight after them. Apothecary's not here. And there's the disruptive melee of the Warriors as well. There we see the Adrenal Rush healing the Gene Stealers with each hit. And his Assault Marines in huge amounts of trouble. Almost lost the entire squad. One model jumps away. Lost a Sergeant. And that was almost disastrous for Dark Riku. Here are Tactical Marines now in cover. No sign of Stern Guard. He does have some Devastators though. Disrupted by the Warriors. setup team that suppress with their heavy bolter. There is Veil of Time, buffing their speed and meaning they don't need to set up, and look at that. Such a powerful combo in tier 2 for Space Marines, forcing off Toilailee's stuff. That's going to be a pain to deal with. Hormagaunts down to 3 models, forcing off scouts into that building. 207315, 2-to-1 cap for Toilailee. Flesh hooks out of the building there. Those scouts down to a single model. No sign of any shotguns, by the way. Here is the Lictor Alpha sneaking around, getting too close to those tactical marines though. He's going to go after those devastators though, isn't he? There's the 2-to-1 for Dark Riku. Has west and centre, and the map is looking pretty good for him. Apothecary hits level 3. Bang! Power axe hit on retreat. Lictor Alpha is going to get away. There's the grenade attempt. A beautiful attempt. Very nearly taking out Lictor Alpha on retreat there. 193312. Toilailee is tier 3 and has almost enough to drop a Tyranids formation. Dark Riku still in tier 2. So it's not over yet by a long shot. Can he get a Carnifex or a Swarm Lord on the field? Has the power, just needs some requisition. Ravenous forcing the Devastators into the building. There's a Synapse Shock, a Warrior going down. And these guys haven't leveled yet, and that is a problem. They're getting focus fired a lot. And a bad engage for Toilailee. Might lose his Raveners. Saved by the Crippling Poison. Very quick thinking from Toilailee. And a Carnifex is on the way. What is he going to go for on this thing? Venom Cannon Carnifexes are pretty ridiculous right now. But he might go for a Thornback or even a Barb Strangle effects, which I think are awesome. 183, 285. It's a double cap for Toilailee. And this is what Tyranids do. They lose models, but they keep coming back, as they should. Quite rightly. Assault Marines taking mid, back up to full strength, nearly level 3. Librarian level 2, and Dark Riku goes tier 3. And Toilailee can drop a Tyranids formation now. Might wait for the Devastator to take the building and then destroy the building with the Tyranids formation, which would of course kill the occupants. Lictor Alpha chasing some scouts, or a scout should I say. Doesn't have the energy for flesh hooks. Dark Riku still with this 2-to-1 cap, and barely any map presence for Toilailee. Has preserved his power quite well. Has 2 wreck points and that is it. A single Hormagaunt on capping duty, not capping the node though. And the Carnifex is on the field and he's going for Thornback. Gives it even more health, brings it up to 1875 hit points. That's 1875 of vehicle armor with regenerating health since it's a monstrous creature. Gives it an awesome charge, allows it to spawn Rippers as well. 148271. Lictor Alpha runs the hell away. And Toilailee going after both VPs, but Hormagaun's scared off. Ball says Dark Riku lost his Devastators. What happened? I think these guys ate them. Oh no, Tyranids formation. Destroyed the building, just like I said, but I missed it. What an idiot. The spires of the Tyranids formation will one-shot buildings, which is a great thing that that nuke can do. Which of course kills the occupants immediately. 148259. Dark Riku has now seen the Carnifex, so will we see a Melter Bomb on this assault squad? Will we see a Tactical Marine Missile? We are going to see a Predator, no doubt, with a twin las cannon. And that's going to be a problem. 148259, there's the 1-to-1 cap. Ravenous taking east back. Lictor Alpha, did he get anything else? No. Apothecary still level 3. Predator on the way. Toilailee needs to push this advantage that he has. These capillary towers of Tyranids formation granting a synapse to these Tyranids. And he's hitting power again. He's done quite a good job going after this power. Nevertheless, Dark Riku has got to tier 3 and does have a tank on the way. And here he comes, the big defense force. And the warriors retreat. No more melee synapse for these Gene Stealers. 148, 244, 2-1 cap. Rippers have been spawned. Here is the Predator tank. And there's the Lictor Alpha jumping in. Has the deadly jump. Awesome disruptive war gear. And a very important engagement right now. There is Angels of Death by Dark Riku. 50% damage resistance, immunity to knockback, and Toilailee sees that as a signal to go home and a full retreat. And now the Carnifex will be chased back. Can he get this thing back to safety? It cannot retreat, of course, so needs to march it back. Could charge back unless he's already used it. 148, 206, Toilailee with a triple cap. No sign of the twinning las cannon for the Predator. Not sure how much it costs these days. Carnifex does get back. Can heal up at base. And Toilailee bemoaning the fact that he has bashed power constantly, but there's still a Predator on the field. Gene Stealers now have their rending claws, gives them melee heavy damage, and they will rip a vehicle to pieces if they can get into range of it, especially with Adrenal Rush up. Librarian still level 2. Dark Riku quietly capping the map up again, and he might get a triple here. 136, 176, just 40 VPs in it. Lictor Alpha being sneaky, going to the west side, try and decap it at least. Dark Riku happy to hold mid at the moment. And has 450 red even after using Angels of Death. And Angels of Death is like 250 red, I think, at least. 250 or 200 red. Carnifex back on the field, has spawned some Rippers. Looks like he's going to send them in first. Nope, they're hanging around. And we do have the Twin Link las cannon up on the Predator. Lictor Alpha has capped the west side. Dark Riku quite slow to respond. Level 3 Tactical Marines probably won't upgrade these guys to Stern Guard now since it resets their level. 99, 172. 2-1 cap. Not for long. Dark Riku needs to push mid now. Here we go. Rippers cannot cap. Looks like the Gene Stealers will try it. Yes. 99, 167. Dark Riku keeping his army together. Tactical Marines will be on capping duty though. 99, 167. Still that 1-1 cap. Toilailee capping mid though. Lictor Alpha jumping in, going after that tank. Power melee damage will do decent amount of damage to vehicles if you can get rear armor hits. And here's the rest of the stuff. Lictor Alpha a bit isolated there. There is Angels of Death. Ravenous forced off immediately. Going after the Assault Marines. Angels of Death is 15 seconds, I think. Seems to last for an age. And here we see some Terminators, I think. Or is that a drop pod? It is a drop pod. Instant reinforcement of these Marines also gives them a reinforcement point. And the Librarian gets away even. Or does he? He does. Unbelievable. Rippers. No, he doesn't. He goes down. What the hell? What did that? Rippers going after the tank. Carnifex is still in there. Taking big las cannon hits. 99, 144. Not the best engager for Toilailee. And the Carnifex neglected to charge. Charges often bug out because of terrain getting in the way and stuff. Carnifex, I don't think will make it if the Predator tank keeps chasing these Rippers. Snare vehicles, I believe, with their melee attacks. 78, 144. Surely Dark Riku has this now. Carnifex is still being chased. And we have some Venom Brood for Toilailee. And Carnifex lives. Ravener's ignoring it, trying to go west side to cap, I think. Loses 2 models, good grief. 51-144, there's a triple cap for Dark Riku. Assault Marines, I think, pretty much winning the game for Dark Riku. Very, very difficult for Toilailee to deal with. Got them low a few times, but just healed back up by the Apothecary, or jumped out and retreated just in time. Caused all sorts of problems. And here they are again, jumping in amongst with that Purification Rites heal as well. Genestealer is now going after this tank. 20-144. There's the 1-to-1. Now a single for Toilailee. Can he take this tank out? He can. Have I spoken too soon here? And another Predator on the way from Dark Riku. Apothecary hits level 5. Lictor Alpha now level 3. Would the Pheromones have been a good choice in these big engagements? It's only 20 power, I think. 20-127. Adrenal Gland Warriors are going to wipe here, I think. Retreating with 47 hit points. Do we have another jump? And the Assault Marines doesn't use it. 20-110, and it's a triple cap for Toilailee. Down goes the Lictor Alpha though. He pushed really hard there to try and get losses on Dark Riku. Took out the tank, but here's another one to deal with. 20-91. Carnifex was not part of that engagement, of course, healing up. Scouts capping east side. Dark Riku has preserved both of these scout squad. Level 4 these guys. These guys level 2 has used them very well to cap up the map. Assault Marines and scouts coming west side. A single Ravener is here and instantly retreats. Venom Brood with range synapse also retreating. 20-79. Still have that drop pod there, of course, allowing Dark Riku to reinforce. You need to destroy these things now. It is a close game. 15-79. There's a single cap for Dark Riku. He's going to have a 2-to-1. Toilailee with one final push. Warrior Brood model immediately dies to the tank. And there's the 2-to-1, and there is the victory for Dark Riku. Toilailee just running out of steam, could not push again. And there is the victory. What could he have done differently? He did bash power a few times, didn't he? Just the strength of the Apothecary in the hands of a good player. Very difficult to deal with. Used him quite aggressively with the Anointed Power Axe. I do think a Tyrant God or two would have been better than the Zone Thrope, which didn't last very long, did it? Thanks for watching, guys. I will see you next time.